I've got a quick question.
Oh, well, always welcome to have your question.
When are we going to Vegas? I want to know. We need to do a friends and family outing. Got to do an
Well,
outing to Vegas. To come up with a seminar, something fun, something educational, and then party, party, party.
oh boy. Oh boy.
There's got to be a golf course there,
Plenty of
right?
golf courses there. Yeah. It's like golfing in the desert over there. It's like they got mountains there. It's pretty. It's very pretty golf there. I've golfed a couple times around there. Um, they have some nice courses. There used to be the Desert Inn back in the day. And the Desert Inn was, I forgot who owned it, but anyway, the Desert Inn was there. They had a golf course and they only allowed like 10 foursomes a day to go on the golf course. This is right behind the Desert Inn. That was back in a long time ago. There's no Desert Inn anymore. But anyway, and they charge like $500. You could never get a card on there. It was like they kept it pristine. And this was the day, back then, $500 for a round of golf is like unheard of. It's like $500 now if you go play Pebble. Back then, 20 some years ago, it was maybe more. It was so like unheard of. But they didn't want anybody to play the course, and they kept it pristine, very clean, and uh, you know. But yeah, there's plenty of nice courses in Vegas.
Now, Saul, did you play the course?
No, no, I have a problem with paying $500 for a round of golf. I mean, my friend wants to go to Pebble, and I'm like, it's like, who wants to pay 500? I mean, I can get like 10 rounds of golf for that price.
Yeah, it's funny, and I think I might be a little ahead of you, but it's good to get the senior rate or the
No, I mean, there's no
AARP
senior rate,
rate.
right?
You
Yeah,
got to get the AARP rate.
but they don't have that at Pebble. What are they going to give you? $5 off? They
What's a
don't give
round
you
of golf
that.
out there? I didn't catch you. Did you know the number?
It's $500 out at Pebble Beach in California. I mean,
Oh, so that's for the 500. Oh, I didn't know
yeah.
that. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah, and then they get it.
Well, it's funny. I always say that about sports. Like you go to the game and it's like it costs you $1,000 to go to the game, and then with a family, and you go around there goes like this is a little crazy, right? But then the place is hammered.
Yeah.
You can't get another body into the stadium.
Nope. That's true. They can you. That's right. I mean, I've come to the conclusion I'd rather stay home and watch it on TV. But I mean, I will say that I did go to a lot of. And this is going way back now, 20, 30 years now already. When the Bulls were winning their championships, that I was there for.
Yeah, I was there for that back in the day.
You were here in
Back in the
Chicago.
day. Oh yeah, I
Where
came
you
to
at?
Chicago a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's where met you once.
Yeah, Chicago's a great. I love Chicago. But you had said that Chicago, you'd rather go to Vegas.
Well, yeah. I mean, if we're gonna do, I mean, unfortunately, I would have loved it if we had an outing in Chicago. That would have been fun, so you can take clients on the floor. But uh, we can't do that anymore. So
But they're going to
it's
probably turn it into a museum and charge
no,
like $50 to go onto the floor.
no, no. They're gonna close it down and sell the property. It's in the middle of downtown. Are you kidding? That
Yeah, that's an amazing property.
that building, as far as square footage for rental, was the most expensive rental space in the city, right there. I mean, then you had traders who were renting it, so They not only did they rip you off with the fees and everything, they jam you if you had to. I had to pay for rent, and for my little space that they gave me.
Yeah, that was your booth, man.
Well, no, then I went down to the floor for the booth. I'm talking about I had my office. In my office, when they had my office, then it became ridiculous because I didn't need an office. Well, they first gave me an office when we first started, because you could trade, you trade a lot, so they give you an office because you pay for it through commissions. And then once they started cutting down on all the firms, and all the bigger firms bought the smaller firms out, uh, then they cut those perks out. Even though I was giving them a lot of commissions at the time. So they gave you like free office space. They gave you free. You used to go to games, basketball games. They gave you tickets, baseball games. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I know, like commission structure when when it became all commoditized. Speaking of commodities, right? That everything is commoditized. It used to be you couldn't even get information. Like news was held internal. Yeah, you had to pay for it. It was held internal.
Yeah.
And then, that's why Bloomberg terminals right now are such a hot commodity. If you don't have a Bloomberg terminal and you're in the business, then you're not in the business. Because that's how they all communicate to each other now privately. That's the conduit for all the hedge funds and all the deal makers. Bloomberg is their platform where they text each other on and communicate back and forth on, supposedly privately. I'm not sure anything is really private anymore.
No, that's for sure.
I was looking at my phone the other day, and there's some person. All I saw was a shadow. I didn't know what was going on. There was somebody in there grabbing all my stuff.
A shadow? The what?
I couldn't identify it. Yeah. I looked down, and there was somebody in my phone. I don't know where they were from. It was just a shadow.
The people from New York do that. This doesn't happen to everybody. Shadow. What is shadow? What is a shadow?
You can't identify people these days, right? You can't say this one did that or that one did this. You got to it's got to be just a shadow. There's somebody in my phone taking my stuff. It's the shadow. I'm convinced our phones are listening to us. They claim that it's not, but
How's your governor doing?
oh boy, I don't know, man. He's hiding under his desk.
He's I don't know what he's doing. He should just say.
They threw it all at him.
Oh, they did. So they did not like him. Somebody was mad at him.
He made a ton of money on he made like $5 million on his book.
Who cares? He's gonna be. He's like going nowhere fast. Like he could be sent to jail.
They never really do that stuff. I don't know. I really don't know. I feel bad for the state because New York needs a lot of work. And there was just a story that came across, which is really frightening, right? It was from the Post. Of course, the Post, right? And it had a story that, let's see, it's probably under Metro. Let me just look at it. It was like some woman was attacked, in the subway. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's going on in New York that's really not public. And I've got my daughter moving in, so I'm concerned about it. She's trying to get a place right near her office, which is around Midtown. But even the Midtown stuff, and what's happening? I don't know if it's happening in Chicago, but people are driving around these little mini bikes. These like they're small motorized vehicles without helmets, and they're riding around in packs all over the place. And there's no real police presence anywhere to try to rein them in. So it's become a little bit of a free for all, which is a little crazy. So yeah, the governor's got his hands full. I don't know what the future holds for him. It seemed like he was getting away with it for a while until they announced all the the investigation. I think they had it in for him anyway. I think they were finally sick of the guy. But he did write a nice book about how he managed to handle the pandemic and was a hero. So it's just crazy.
Did you buy it? It was a bestseller, I heard.
Well, I have it framed in a shadow box.
No, you don't have it signed?
Well, I don't have it signed, but I did see a shadow in the shadow box. I think it came out of my phone. I don't know.
Of course it did. So this is what happens when there's not much going on and unemployment is tomorrow. Brett comes pipes in here in the middle of the afternoon, middle of the morning.
Well, I just wanted to bring up the Las Vegas thing. I think that would be fun.
It would be.
I think after this, after the variant or whatever it is that's out there.
Down.
Yeah, I think we've got to come up with a friends and family outing. And that's funny because I don't know Vegas as much as I used to, because I know it's changed a little bit based on what was the name of the place, the Stardust that you were talking about before, or the Desert Inn?
The DI, yeah.
The Desert Inn. That's with Sammy Davis and the Rat Pack.
Those guys owned it, yeah. Yeah, they had a great golf course there. That's all I was talking about. You wouldn't know.
I I threaten to play golf all the time, but I never get out there. I have clubs from 30. I have the old Ping Zings, and I've got very small driver heads. From the metal shafts. From the days of old. And I went for a Callaway fitting with my wife. No, I just did just before the weather started changing to the worse here. New York has been rainy, hot, humid. It's really been bad. So there was a zone in there just before the weather hit where we went out, did a Callaway fitting, realized that Callaway clubs are $525 for a driver, for the new ones. And the hybrids are a little better priced, and the irons are, it's about $2,500 for a decent golf set. For a first run, new, model year, if you want to call it a model year. It's about $2,500. So I passed on that idea and was going to get a few hybrids and a couple of these and a couple of those, but we just never got around to it. By the time we get them, this year's model will be on sale, in the fall, and then we'll do it then. Yeah, which I can't believe it's August 5th already, so I don't even know.
Yeah, these things never go on sale.
Well, the new ones don't. The most, and it's funny, the new ones are just as good as last year's, but what's happening is a lot of weird tech or AI going into the designs, and the new ones are pretty intense. And I'm not very good at it, but I got to get out there. You've spent a lot of time out there on the golf course. How many times a week do you play now?
A few.
Now, what does that mean? 5?
Well, I don't golf on the weekends. How's that?
Okay, so it's 5. But I think it's great that you get out on a regular basis.
So the funny story about my clubs are, first of all, my clubs are, I don't know, 30 years old probably, right? Except for the drivers. And I do have a couple utility clubs that I like and I bought recently, but my irons are like 30 years old. And the story about my irons were, my friend is a golf pro, and around Chicago area here, and that's where I learned how to play. I went with him, and we played a lot of nice courses around the Chicago area that I would never be able to get into because most of them are private. But because you're a golf pro, and most jurisdictions around the world, I think that if Mondays the golf clubs are closed to the members, and the golf pros get to play or help caddies and what have you get to play on Mondays. So we would always go to these golf courses on Mondays to go play them because my friend is a pro. He knew all the pros at the other courses, and the head pros at the other courses. So we would go on Mondays and play these nice courses around the city. And a couple of them are very nice, and a couple of them are okay. That you can't believe people actually pay to play this course over 100 times a year, but whatever. But so he also had a friend who sold golf clubs. He had this nice warehouse area there, and he took me there, and I was paying. I paid like $30 a club. One each club cost me $30. So I, 3, 4, 5, whatever you buy, right? And so I mean, he was doing okay. The guy was doing okay, but he was, couldn't sell them. So what did he end up doing? He goes and marks up these golf clubs to sell for $100 a club. And he puts them out to these golf courses around, Chicago, and he couldn't keep them on the shelf. So nobody wanted to buy them at $30 a club. But when they went up to $100 a club, they couldn't keep them on the shelf. And the business went crazy selling them, making a lot of money that way. Just shows you that people, as long as it's expensive, they'll buy it. They don't care about, I bought them for $30 a club, and, I still have them. A lot of my friends who I play golf with all the time are getting fitted now. Everybody gets fitted, and they go and take a picture and this and that, videotape your swing and blah blah blah, and they get you these clubs that you're going to hit these like 10 yards further every time. Big deal. Anyway, so I got the same clubs for 30 years ago, and I hit them the same way. I know how far I can hit each club, and they actually go somewhat straight for me. And I don't even want to try to buy another club right now. Except I do. I mean, obviously, I mess around with the drivers are kind of cool, but even though they're so expensive. So all I do is ask my friend, my golf pro friend, "Hey, Billy, do you got an extra?" I smacked my driver on the ground the other day because I didn't like the way it came off my club. And so I kind of broke it a little. So I call him up and here, just come over to my house. He's got like 20 drivers hanging in his garage. He just said, take one. So I'm lucky in that sense that I haven't had to pay for a driver in a while. But I've had the utility clubs are good. The point of the story was that you increase your price for your club from $30 to $100, and you can't keep them in stock.
That is a valuable lesson for even what we're doing here.
I guess.
I have to think about it. I want to have to noodle on that, I want to have to noodle on that. Go ahead.
Knock your socks. Let me hear this.
I'm going to confer with the shadow in my phone. I'll come up with something.
This is one now. We got a shadow we're talking about. It's his shadow friend. Oh my God.
He's taking all my info. Or they are taking, I don't know what it is, right? So we could call, they name the artificial intelligence in your service the Tin Man, because he doesn't have or whatever it is, doesn't have a heart. And he just tosses people out that aren't part of your friends and family. The Tin Man. And I did not name it the Tin Man. So, all right. So I'll be in the background if anybody needs me. I will send out the opportunity to sign up for Sal's Friends and Family right now. Don't hesitate to ask questions. Everything starts with friends and family. So makes you sign up. It's nominal. It really just weeds out the people. As Saul said, the wheat from the chaff the other day.
I'm sure they're running to the fucking exits right now to sign up. I can't believe it after this conversation we're having.
Yeah, well, that, something. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Only the shadow knows, right? What's really going on in the back end. So I just sent that out to everybody. If you want to talk about Sal's mentoring and his coursework, don't hesitate to inquire now. Okay, don't hesitate.
We should pay them for them to listen to us talk.
That's right. That's right. Hey, and Ed, I did reverse that email back out to you, and it has the information. Just let me know if you got it. Remember, that's just a skeleton, okay, of the work you're doing with Saul in his Zoom when you guys get together. Mahmoud, we're waiting on you. Let me know. You know what's going on. Got a place for you in our world here. And that information's out to everybody. So, yeah, Mahmoud, I got to get you started, man. You're killing me. Saul asked me about you the other day. He said, "Is he in?" And I said, "Yes, I think he's coming in." So you're on the short list. Good stuff. Yeah, and that's interesting because we don't want you to do that this week or next week, so we can help you. So just complete the offer, and I will be happy to get you all set up. Do it today. Don't hesitate. Okay? And then we'll all go to Vegas. We'll set up our Vegas trip. Yeah, I don't want to hear that. That makes me want to cry. And I don't want to do that. I already have to do like an exorcism on my phone or something to get the shadow out. So I don't want to have any more craziness in my life. And if that's the case, then go to the original number. Mahmoud, don't do that. Just take action. Okay? Just take action. That's the thing that happens in trading is that a trade is action. A trade is the act of putting on a trade and taking it off, or the act of not putting on a trade because it's just not a good trade to put on. And then there's the act of putting on a trade and realizing it's not a good trade. The other thing that I think is really important is that there is a reason you get into a trade. There's a reason not to get into a trade. There's a reason to get out of a trade. And if you get distracted from your trade, so let's say, I used to witness this, is that an individual would put on a trade for whatever the reason, and then they get a phone call or they get distracted. Now, they didn't get out when they should have gotten out because the reason they got in and the reason that they should have gotten out is already passed. And now they're making up reasons to stay in the trade. And that really is a problem because the reasons that you make up to stay in a trade aren't the same reasons that you got into the trade. And it costs people money. It costs individual traders a lot of money. So one of the things that I think is really good about what Saul does is that he lays out a roadmap for the day, his levels and zones, and he's laser focused on what's happening based on those levels and zones, whether they're a trade to go into Has it, run its course based on that level and zone? Where would I get in based on that level and zone? What's my exit strategy? That's all in his mind as he's approaching, or the price action is approaching his area. So there are a number of considerations based on money management, trade management in and around his levels. And that's what he teaches. The first thing you get from Saul here is his experience, the fact that he's taking trades himself based on his levels and zones, based on his entries, exits, and stops. So he is a valid contributor, to any question that you have as it relates to those areas, because he was invested both mentally and emotionally into the area. So when he gives you an answer to what happened, how could I have done the trade, from your perspective, how would I enter the trade? Where would I place my stop? What's my entry? What's my exit? How did I do? What did I do well? What do I still need work on? And that's the type of opportunity that is here for individual traders, whether they're new or experienced. So it becomes so the stepping stone, obviously, is sticking around and being part of Saul's world from a friends and family point of view. You have the opportunity as a deliverable to come in every day, receive Saul's proprietary scalping levels, go through the morning session with him, ask questions, be part of the family. Then you have the opportunity for a trading consultation, which is private. And you can talk about where you are in your trading, where you'd like to be. And then you also have the opportunity to be considered, and think about it this way, is that Saul doesn't take everybody in his course and his mentoring work. So there's a lot that goes on here that you can be part of. We do talk to individuals on an individual basis, which we have. We have sent out some offers for individuals to take up those offers. If you take up the offer, that's great. If you decide not to, let us know and we'll give it to somebody else. He only looks to take 6 or less at a time. So he tries to keep it 6 or less at a time. So it is a, by appointment only, by selection only type opportunity. So take it seriously and let us know. So Mahmoud, run and get that done, because I think you would benefit from it. And I'm losing my ability to talk. That's terrible. Hey, JB, welcome aboard. I did send that out to you personally based on your inquiry. So welcome. Hey, Rob, appreciate it. And JB, let me know if you're getting my message. Robert, appreciate that also. One of the things that it was Avi. Is Avi in? Hey, Avi. If you're there. I think it was you, Avi, that posted in Futures IO. So if anybody has any social accounts or some of the trading chat rooms or the trading, what do they call them? I guess in the old days you used to call them bulletin boards, right? Now they have a different term. So there's like Futures IO, there's I think Futures IO, is that Big Mike? I can't remember. And then there's a couple other ones out there that if you're involved or have an account, post coming back to be part of Sol's Zoom trade along. We appreciate it. If anybody needs Sol's access to his friends and family Zoom trade along, let us know, and we'll send it out to you. You can send it out to you privately in chat. And again, there is a ABCD approach to setting yourself up as a new trader. And there's also a opportunity to be adjusted, focused as a experienced trader, where you're shedding the stuff that's not working and focus on the stuff that could work for you. And we do that for you also. Hey, Slick, do you have any questions? Let me know. Luis, Larry Q, Kev. Julio, I did send you out that information. Let me know if you got it. I sent it out via email. Hey, John, Joel, Glenn, Frank. Hey, Fen, are you signed up for Sol's friends and family? Let me know. And JB, I have the discount link for you. I think you asked that in that email. Vianapam. Hey, Andreas, Alex, Adam. Dan, let me know if you got that email back. I think we can arrange. Hey, Louis, you part of Sol's friends and family? Best. What are you using? I mean, who are you using? I don't want to refer you to the same one, Yeah, well, you're right. Hey, Sol, are you in the background?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Did you read in the last question?
Yeah, sure, Louise. If you give me put your contact information in there, and I'll send you somebody to call. All right, we'll get you some information out to you.
You want him to put his email in?
No, is that your cell phone? 96. Okay, that is a cell phone, right? Okay. Yeah, I'll send you some contact information of someone, and you can go from there.
Sounds good. Hey, Larry Q, welcome. Hey, JB, let me know if you're in earshot. One of the things that I think is pretty obvious, but you never know, is that once you get good at scalping or trading, you can raise your contract size. So one of the things that leads you to a great opportunity is that if you can, Saul's general entry, exits, and stop is he has a 2-point stop generally as he's approaching coming into the morning session. He's got a 2-point plus minimum trading profit target. I would venture to guess that the current entries, exits, and stops that you're using are different than the ones that Saul would be teaching you. But the point is that once you start getting good at this from a learned price action trading strategy, taught by Saul, and you start to develop what we call consistent profitability on your own, right? Because you're learning this, applying it, and rinsing and repeating it, right? It's like wax on, wax off, is a good analogy. Is that you can raise your contract size. Now, there is an emotional element to raising your contract size because it's, the additional risk and money associated with it. But I think I had a question earlier. Who asked the question earlier? Was it Stu? I don't know if Stu's still here. Might have been Stu. It was talking about, let's see. Yeah, Marco, you're right about the cost of playing 100 rounds of golf a year at your own course. It's a fortune. Yeah, I can't find it in here, but it was a good question. And it was a question I think I could have answered, but they weren't part of friends and family, and it just bugged me, I think. Yeah, I don't see it. That just I'm scrolling too fast through it. But anyway, they'll ask it again. But I think that they might have gone on and signed up for friends and family. I think that's what was going on. I'll send out the link to everybody. Take a moment to do it. It's nominal. Just gives us an opportunity to weed out those that we're dealing with or not dealing with, should deal with or could deal with, or the whole Megillah. From trading software, trading setup, order entry, charts. You can see charts that Saul is utilizing during his trading, and they're very simply represented. Hey, Lionel, welcome. Good morning. Or we should say good midday for us. Mid-morning. Larry, did you give us a quick sound check? Just let me know. Use the chat feature. We're here every day, focused on the morning session. We're looking to do 2, 3, 4, 5 trades based on a disciplined approach to price action trading. You can learn how to do this. First level of service here, in our humble opinion, is better levels and zones than you get from standardized software. Standardized software is any software that you're using. It's called standardized software. It means that it's loaded up with all sorts of tools, bells, whistles, things that capture your attention. To me, it's almost like a one-armed bandit. It's just crazy. All the information that streams into software platforms that are quite useless, in my opinion. The focus here is on, I guess, Sol's ability to identify. Sol's a trader. He's been trading for 25 years or so. He is a veteran of the trading pits in Chicago. He is actively scalping at risk his own trading account. He is utilizing a trading methodology, technique that he showcases here in this service. You can be a beneficiary of Sol's key information, his proprietary scalping levels or zones. The reason we call them proprietary is that they are his, the way he sets them for his own trading, the advantage that he receives based on setting these levels right around the cash open, and then looking to capitalize on his levels by putting trades on. Short trades, fade trades, momentum long trades in and around those levels. And he actively manages his trades in and around those levels and zones. And just as a quick caveat, is that the market is dictating based on its personality this morning, its price movement this morning, its range, momentum, follow through this morning, what Sol does based on his pre-mapped out levels, how and what he does based on his entries, exits, and stops. Now that is an opportunity for you to be part of the service on a daily basis, ask questions, interact, receive Sol's levels and zones from an educational point of view during the morning session, right around the cash open, where he sets them. And then Sol does a critical assessment of the market based on its personality right after the cash open. A few bars get painted. The action of price happens. Sol is identifying the day, his participation in the day, how many contracts he wants to do, his risk management profile. And that is a taught experience for you. You can do the same thing. You can be part of it. You can have somebody work with you just like in any human endeavor. You don't become a brain surgeon overnight and work on brains. It takes some time and effort on your part, and it takes a mentor to help you get into it. That's the same thing with golf. If you happen to be a decent golfer, but you're just not quite making it onto the pro golfing circuit, there are individuals that you hire that are few and far between to help you survive and excel on the pro golfing circuit. Sol is one of those individuals that you could hire in the trading or on the trading circuit, if you will. Not many of them. You're lucky you found them, but that's the point. So if you're looking to make a living trading, serious hobby trading, finding somebody like Sol is a great opportunity for you. And he's a decent guy. So I don't want to make him blush, but he's a decent guy. So Lionel, hopefully it helped you get a little bit more information about what we do here on a daily basis. JB, hopefully it helped you based on what goes on here on a daily basis. EF, welcome. So this is the S&P 500 E-mini. This is intraday trading, short and long, based on a price action trading methodology. Price action trading has been around for a really long time. It's really, in my opinion, after all the other stuff you can get involved in. It's the last bastion of hope for traders out there that have struggled, found standardized software wanting. Doesn't take you long to figure that out, but sometimes it's painful. And here is a real opportunity for you to focus and turn your trading around. If you've been trading for a while, focus on one thing and do it well. Or as a new trader, set yourself off on the right foot with the idea of heading into consistent profitability. And we'll be glad to help you with that. Mark just posted the levels that Sol started the day out this morning with, and so did his attendees or his friends and family members. It says Zoom trade along. Today's levels and zones. And then it has a pivot, which was 4404. That becomes a focal point right after the cash open. And then he has resistance at 09, 15, 21, 28, and 38. Below he has support at 97, 91, 84, and 74. That's for educational purposes only. Very important for you to know that. During the morning session, and Sol does a wrap up at the end of the morning session where he goes over what happened, what he did, the levels, how they worked, how they didn't work, which levels, going twice into a level could be a problem, based on the validity of the level, the action of price around those levels. So he gives you a quick overview about how the morning session went this particular morning, which is a great overview for those that are part of his friends and family and guests coming in to start to understand what they've come into and what the opportunities are from a seriously positive setup. Yeah, yes. So we're talking, it's funny, I talk New York time. Right now it's 10:41, right? Sol is Central Time, which is an hour earlier. The morning session, as we refer to it, is from the opening bell Eastern Time at 9:30 a.m., okay, until about 11:30. The trades that Sol did this morning, finished him for the day as far as banking his money. And then what happens after that, it's a matter of working with those individuals like yourself that's part of his course and his mentoring work or setting something up with you. Could be working with somebody in the background that's part of his friends and family that have a question about his course and his mentoring work or, other questions. So there's a lot that is here that is for the individual trader. What's interesting is that Sol is already finished for the day. Sol's work is done for Sol when it comes to his trading. And that's how I think it's interesting. It's interesting because it doesn't take too many trades, if you do them well, to bank your money for the day. If you learn to do the small chips based on making money, you can raise your contract size. So when you're doing your chips based on the money, you're starting to bank some money. And, the home run business and the idea of swing trading for something, these days it's madness. The concept of small chips, consistent profitability, knowing why you're getting into a trade, knowing why you get right out of a trade if it's not working, so you don't get stopped out, right? You do have your stops in place. And then it's the concept of chipping it so that you 2 points plus on the upside, 2 points plus possibly on the downside, and then you're in the money for yourself instead of sweating it out all day waiting for the market to give you something. And that's a very good topic. If you look back at the charts, you'll see that 2 points is readily available. 2 points plus is a little harder, right? When you start getting into price change and trying to bank a trade based on a profit, and you start going to 3 points or 4 points or 5 points, you have all the reversals that come into play, all the choppiness. If you can narrow the focus down, and you can check it out for yourself, okay, this is from an educational point of view, is that 2 points is readily available. 11 a.m. Central Standard Time is 10 a.m. No. 11 a.m. Central Standard Time is 12 noon Eastern Time. Hope that's right, or else I've been messed up for a long time. So it just depends on when he does it. So the window of opportunity for Saul to make money for himself, and obviously for those that are part of his service to, from an educational point of view, be in the zone, is from that 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time till 11:30. So his end of morning session could vary based on what he's doing and what he's done and how the day is working out as far as his time. So he'll do it at some point before 11:30 Eastern Time. He could do it before, depending on what he's doing. So it's really after the important action of the day. And I think it's also important that individual traders like yourself, right, could also be done out of the gate, or during the first hour of the morning session, where you're finished for the morning, or could be, or should be. In other words, put your mouse down, right? I mean, stop what you're doing because you've done it and banked your money, and hold on to it so that you start to grow your account. Too often the pattern in trading is that you may make money, but you give it back. Or you may make money, but you're getting eaten up by commissions. So you want to be able to do good trades, bank your money, and then stop for the day. And then when you get good enough, then raise your contract size. So you don't have to do that many trades to bank your money for the day. What is it in the S&P 500 E-mini? If you do, and this would take some time and effort, it would take skill, it would take consistent profitability up the chain, right? But if you were doing 10 contracts at a time and you made your 2 points, that's $1,000 less fees. It's not so bad. Hey, Mike Z, welcome aboard. Robert, I just used that the other day. Hey, Mike, welcome aboard. I'll give you a quick overview about what we do here, how we do it, why we do it. So, yeah, that can be arranged, Robert. I set it up the other day. We used it the other day. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Everything we do is, we try to do it, is open in Zoom, with Zoom Webinar, it doesn't give you as many Zoom Webinar versus Zoom, rooms. It doesn't give you as many tools to do breakout rooms and that type of thing. I believe that that's changing in the near future, or it might have already changed. I just haven't seen it yet. So they've been doing a lot of updates in Zoom. But one of the things that was on their plate, and I even asked for, was the opportunity to be able to take an individual into a private session and answer their questions and do it live, instead of having to reach out to them on Skype. Or now they have Zoom Phone. I got to figure out how to work Zoom Phone, where you can talk to somebody privately based on headset to headset to answer their questions in a more personalized format. But everything starts here with friends and family anyway. So once you're part of friends and family, then we have the opportunity to do all that stuff with you. And again, it's nominal, right? So the concept here is deal with the people that have a vested interest, and the vested interest is becoming part of friends and family. So the opportunity here is for traders to come in. And I must get 100 calls. Well, I remember we were talking about my shadow and my phone. Like, I'm getting a scam likely call, and it's from like the warranty service for cars. And there's a boiler room somewhere, because I hear them in the background. Because sometimes I'll just put the phone on and just let it hang, right? And not say anything, because sometimes it completely freaks me out that I get so many calls. But they just hung up. So I don't know who's screening my calls to say, it's not spam. It says scam likely on my phone, which I think is funny. It's not spam. It's scam. And who picks up a phone call like if everybody's labeled as scam, right? I mean, what the heck is going on there? How do I know? I guess I have to have a list of people that can get through and a list of people that can't. But there might be a legitimate call from somebody that might get put into the scam likely scenario here. But it drives me mad. And it's not just one, it's like 10 or 15, on a consistent basis. And I ask, can you take me off your list? And all, and finally, they don't even know what's going on the other end. But anyway, I digress. So we're focused on trading the S&P 500 E-mini here. We're focused on doing 2, 3, 4, 5 trades in an educational format only, based on a price action trading fundamental and strategy. Fundamental and strategy, the table is set for that based on Sol's methodology. And I guess Sol is important, right? Sol is a trader. Sol is an active trader. Sol also mentors individual traders to look to get good at their trading or take them from where they are, where you're at. Like, some traders are really close to making money. They just ain't there yet. Sometimes it takes years for them to get close, which is fine. And then Sol helps them get over the hump, where he can adjust and tweak them based on where they're at to where they want to be, and then helps them stay on course. I laugh. Sometimes I call it bumpers at we had younger kids, and they would go to the bowling alley. And younger kids used to do a lot of alley balls, or whatever they call it. So they put up the bumpers so that the ball would go down and at least hit off the bumpers and then hit some pins, and it would be action for them and it would be fun. Trading is a little like that, is that you've got to, you get to a certain point and you're pretty good at it. Sol helps you, tweaks you up, gets you rolling down the right way. And then I guess ego gets involved, or slippage comes in, and you start to stray, distraction, whatever it is. And then they start to not do so well. And Sol can help you get back on the right track based on your trading. So that's another feature of the relationship based on what Saul can do for you. Not only can teach you what to do, how to do it, why to do it, and then work you into his trading methodology, teach you how to set his proprietary scalping levels, and then you start to look to develop consistent profitability, and then he's with you like a wingman, right, on a daily basis as you're applying your craft, and he is giving you information, subtle clues when it comes to today's current market environment and how it relates to what you're doing based on your entries, exits, and stops. I think that's really key here, is that it's a relationship opportunity with somebody that's been trading for 25 years, veteran of the trading pits of Chicago. He's currently trading himself, which I think is really important. And you can judge him by his levels and what he's doing based on the morning session. And then don't be too harsh, because the idea here is, how do you pick up and do the same? Too often people are so, I don't know what the word is, they have their guard up so much that they don't know when to put their guard down. And I think it takes a couple days with Saul being in here for a couple days to put your guard down a little bit, to be able to accept that it exists, accept the information, pay attention to the information, see that it's valid, and then move on from there. So I think that's really important. That's why we ask a couple things. We ask you come in as a guest, welcome. We ask you to bring your friends. We ask you to go out on social media, wherever you have any of these chat rooms, chat boards, chat this, chat that, and post up to come to Zoom Trade Along and check Saul out. He's a decent guy with a decent rep, and he's earned his stripes. Stick around for a couple days as a guest, then quickly switch over to friends and family at our nominal rate. Nominal rate's $100. Normal rate is $379. Don't miss out on the $100. Saves you $279 a month. It's nominal. It's nominal enough that if you don't do it, then we just don't pay attention to you. I hate to say it, but that's true. Rand, how are you? So we do everything in here. So this is I don't know what you call it, a modern, up-to-date opportunity when it comes to Zoom. And Saul lays it on the line on a daily basis, all live. In other words, you would pick up pretty quickly if he's all wet or doesn't know what he's doing. I think the other thing, too, is that some people are really tough to please. They're just too wrapped up in themselves that they're so hard to deal with. They're so jaded, and we just ask them to move on because we just can't do it. It just, you say X and they say Y. They say Y, and you're like, oh my God, I got to run out and light myself on fire. When Saul gives out his levels in the morning, so there's a roadmap. So for individual traders that come in here, no matter where you're on the curve, new, experienced, the concept here is, how do you know what to do based on a particular area of price and make money at it? And how to defend your position, stop, where's your entry point and why, and what's your exit strategy? And that should be known before you go into a trade. Now, one of the things that Saul gives out on a daily basis is his proprietary, meaning the way he derives, the way he sets up his trading morning. He gives you his levels. It's a pivot and other levels on top and bottom of the pivot. Now, that has been posted in here. I don't know if, Mark, if you're around, whether you can post it again. You might have gone off into the sunset or out into the sun since you're California. Don, do you have it? I I didn't get a chance to. I'll just scroll back. I'll read them, but I just want to see if you could post it in the thing. So Saul posts his levels. Zoom trade along today's levels and zones. He sets a pivot for his own trading, and he sets areas on top and bottom of that pivot as areas of interest for his trades during this particular morning session. So what I'm doing is I'm imparting what you may read on a website in real time. So think about that for a second. So his pivot today was 4404. 4404. He had resistance at 09, 15, 21, 28, and 38. He had support at 97, 91, 84, and 74. At 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time is when the cash market opens and the S&P 500, right? So it's the S&P 500 stocks. The derivative price is the price in the S&P that we trade. When that market opens up at 9:30, there is a personality that develops based on price change, movement, momentum, follow through. Each day is different. Saul sets his levels right around the 9:30 area, so they're more valid during the morning session. And now Saul likes to be done. Done is banked his money for the day based on his price action trading methodology. Now, Saul is a trader. He's at risk. He's putting his money where his mouth is. He is working based on his pre-mapped out discipline of setting these levels that I just read out to you, right around the cash open. And then he looks to capitalize on those levels and those areas. Now, this is from an educational point of view only, right? Those levels and areas, he will look to put trades on in and around his pivot price, in and around the other levels as the derivative price of the S&P 500 E-mini, the price in the S&P 500 E-mini, goes in to those areas. Could be a fade trade, short trade, momentum trade, long trade. Now, your opportunity as attendees in this service is, number one, to know what it is, which we're describing. Two, Saul, because he's been trading for 25 years or so and is a veteran of the trading pits in Chicago. And he is still trading and at risk, so he is valid when it comes to his trading craft. That's somebody to be listened to, sought after, paid attention to, somebody that you'd meet in a bar and want to pick his brain. He is here on a daily basis doing his thing. You have the opportunity to receive his risk levels, right? Because these are levels that he has circled, levels and zones, areas that he has predetermined for this morning session to give him a trading advantage over other traders, others that are not part of the service. And again, you probably know this, but trading is a zero-sum game. For you to make money, somebody's got to lose. So let them lose and you make the money. Saul wants to take their money. He lays out these levels that are different in most cases than your standardized levels that you have in your software. So think about that for a minute. There are levels out there that you get spoon-fed to you as platform users. But every other platform user is using those levels. No wonder you get shaken out of your trades and you lose money based on utilizing standardized software. That's my humble opinion. Time frames, crosses, indicators, they all suck, I guess is the right word. They're false friends. My humble opinion, and don't take my opinion, right, is I wouldn't use them. The viva la difference here is that Saul has his own levels. Saul counts on these levels. Saul is looking at his levels and zones as opportunity points, which you could during the trading morning. And again, it's very important for you to know that everything's done here from an educational point of view. Nothing is to be taken as direct trading or investment advice. So that's the setup. The setup is, how do you set yourself up better for the morning trade? How do you utilize Saul's levels and zones based on your opportunity with your own trading and your own platform at your own risk? How do you listen to Saul's commentary, ask questions, interact about the trade in and around those levels? And then look to bank your money so that you can be done for the day. So there's 3 levels of service here. There is guests, welcome guests. We ask you to transition pretty quickly into Saul's friends and family. That's $379 a month, $379 a month. Right now it's on at a discounted special price at $100, which saves you $279 a month. I'll send out the link so you can do it. If you like what we're doing here, tell your friends. Remember that this is a staged opportunity. The first level of service is friends and family. As a friends and family member, you can come in, go through the morning session with Saul, receive the things that we just talked about from an educational point of view, and then you have the opportunity to have a private trading consultation as a friends and family member. It's very simple. Set it up, make an appointment, we'll take care of it. And then during that process, if you want to find out about a opportunity to be taught and mentored by Saul in private class, in private mentoring, there is a limited number of spots for that, and they rotate. So he takes a small group in his intensive, he teaches them, and then you come in here on a daily basis as a proving ground for what you're learning in his intensive. And as a friends and family member, it is at a significant discount to you. Okay? And that's done on a private basis. So, Mohammed, you have to be taught in class how to do that. So, yes, you would learn that in your mentoring class, the one that we set you up for. You just have to take the steps to lock yourself into it. So those questions would be answered. You would be supported in your endeavor to persevere in those in your trading, but you have to make your move when it comes to the opportunity, or you have to hand it back to us to give it to the next person. I love you to death, but I got to get you, Mahmoud, to do that. I don't have to get you to do that. I mean, that's the offer. It's there. Take it. It's yours. We're happy to give it to you, but you got to grab a hold of it. Hey, Ann, how are you? Well, it's interesting that you asked that question, because let's say it turns out that you, and this any individual, you start to understand what you're doing, you develop consistent profitability based on your trading, and then you raise your contract size. So let's say you're getting 2 points plus, wherever the 2 point plus lands, right? And you're doing 5 contracts. You wouldn't do that unless you were skilled and in the know and confident with what you're doing based on your class time and your mentoring time as one of the select group of people that work with Saul. Now you've been offered that, which is great. I think the key here is how do you or any individual develop the skill set enough to be confident to raise your contract size so that if you can grab your 2 points plus on the short side or the long side based on a trade, price action trade in and around one of Sol's levels, then now you have a trading business. What is 2 points on 10 contracts is $1,000 less fees. It's not so bad. Do that a couple times in the morning session. It's not so bad. If you grab a few more points based on, selling off or closing out half your trade, and they call it milking the rest, then that's a good thing, and he can teach you how to do that. But you got to be with him to do that. So the questions you're asking are good questions, but those are questions that you need to ask him in that environment. And that's, and believe me, chipping away, if you're chipping away and you're making money, it adds up very quickly. There are people that are happy with $100 a day. There are people that are happy with $200 a day. People are happy with $300 a day. Every individual is different. Every person is treated on an individual basis. And then for those people that want more, you have to be good at it. And to be good at it, you have to be schooled. You have to be practiced. You have to develop almost a sixth sense based on, identifying the opportunity, being able to act on it, and knowing when you're wrong. And that's something that's taught, and then it's something that becomes part of you as the individual trader. Sure. But that's another part of the opportunity here. But just take care of your business on the back end, and we'll take care of the rest. Hey, Mike, how are you? Rand, let me know if that helped you at all based on the explanation. What we do is we just have individuals drop right into the Zoom. And then we look to answer those questions in Zoom. And as a friends and family member, if you want to have that trading consultation or you want to have some additional information about Sol's course and his mentoring work, that is certainly available. But it all starts with coming in the morning, receiving Sol's levels from an educational point of view, going through the morning sessions with him, starting to, get the light bulb to turn on a little bit because you're going to start to see, hear, taste, what Sol's doing and the whys, and then look to make it your own. And, better levels equal better trades too. So if you know what you're doing or you have an idea what you're doing, it's just not working out with the standardized stuff you're using, then take a real hard look at Sol's levels every day. I think you'll be very impressed. One of the things that Sol does not do is makes no promises, right? Because you can't, because people, it's a moving goalpost type situation. But I think you'll find, Sol never touts his own horn. That's something he's earned the right to do, based on his 25 years experience on the trading floor, the trading pits in Chicago, in what I consider an environment with the best traders in the world when they were fighting it out down there like gladiators. And it took a special skill to be able to do that. It also takes a special skill to be a trader that makes money. And we're here to help you do that. Hey, KJ, welcome. Hey, Fen, how are you making out, Fen? Let me know. I don't know if you signed up for Saul's Friends and Family. Slick N. Hey, Slick, let me know what you're doing. DF, let me know what you're doing. JB, let me know. Did you ever give me the high sign before? That you were paying attention? Because I know I had sent you out a special link to come in. It's hard for me to go back through all the different questions and posts. You know, if you're missing the friends and family discount, raise your hand. I'll give it out to you personally. I do send it out to everyone when it comes to the chat area, so you have it. So the window here is the first 2 hours of trading, 9:30 to 11:30. If Sol is done earlier and his people are done earlier, then he could be in the background working with somebody or out doing something for himself, which is one of the great things about trading is it gives you freedom. Freedom to do what you want if you're good at it. And that's the big if, right? And we will look to help you do that, but you need to take the next step on your end. Hey, Rand, sure. So what we do is I guess there's a couple things, right? I guess and you can correct me if I'm wrong, right? It really comes down to whether Sol could be a tool for you, not just you, but you as the people that are coming into the service. And it takes a couple days to pick up on that. And we appreciate that. So that is absolutely okay. We do ask based on the nominal nature of the fee, right? It's usually $379. It's on for $100. That's both are nominal based on the information that is provided here. That we ask you to transition, in other words, if you like it, sign up. Don't have us chase you around and all that other stuff. So I try to be very open when it comes to individuals. I don't know what the word is, but everybody comes in as an individual. Everybody brings their own stuff. Everybody's their own personality, and we try to give people an opportunity to understand the value pretty quickly, and then have them join us as friends and family. And then, the questions and that type of thing are easily answered is the right word, but we know you're in it, we're in it, and we're all like swimming in the same direction, if that makes any sense. The concept of knowing enough, so let's say you're a new trader and you really need information that is direct. It weeds out all the other crap or all the other stuff. It'll lead you to a roadmap where you don't have to make all the mistakes that everybody makes as they try to deal with standardized software, which is any trading platform, right? So there is a lot of worth that is given here based on experience that I find is pretty hard to get elsewhere. There is a lot of experience out there, but I think it's based on failure. And there's a lot of individuals that talk because they got no money left and they know trading lingo and they like company and they just talk and talk and talk and type and talk and talk and type and talk. It could drive you insane because it's the same stuff on a wheel over and over again. The same, the same phrases, platitudes, the whole Megillah. What we try to do different here is we focus on the morning session for, until we get the job done. Usually lasts from 9:30 to 11:30. Then we're pretty quiet in the afternoon. And it's for those traders that know the difference. And then the ultimate opportunity here is for those that are selected, interested in Saul's personalized mentoring service, where he takes you under his wing and he basically schools you on how to trade based on his price action trading methodology, his proprietary scalping levels. You learn how to set them. You learn how to set up the day with them. You learn what to do and what not to do based on the levels, the entries, exits, and stops, the whys, the hows, and then the nuance and the concept of developing it as your own. In other words, where you learn the poem and make the poem your own. And then trying to keep you on the right side of it so that you're here for a long time. He's got individuals that are part of his service for a very long time that are coming in and paying him his $379 a month because they want his levels. They want to have him give them information that they can't get anywhere else or they don't want to get from anywhere else because they're happy with it, they're doing well, and they got a trading business. Mohammed, that's an impossible question. And the focus here is on the S&P 500 E-mini. Are you opposed to that? The concept here is how do you do the S&P 500 E-mini and do it well and raise your contract size? I mean, do you need a futures account to trade the S&P 500 E-mini? Mohammed, I love you, man. We got to go out on your boat. I think that's what we should do. We should start there. I am with you 100%. Yeah. We need an outing. Just tell us where we're meeting or send our transport. I think you're going to be a great client for Saul. You're going to have to let him do his thing with you. I mean, there are days when this market is really good. There are days when it's quiet. There are days you should sit on your hands. There are days where you should ring the register. It's all about that. Yeah, I know, but you don't want to be doing that. We do not want you to be doing that, okay? So I'm like losing my microphone. I guess I'll do it. Why don't we do it this way? Mahmoud, sign up, okay? And then we'll take it from there because you're doing a lot of typing and I don't want you to hurt your fingers. We've had a nice conversation about what the opportunities are. I think you could be very much helped based on Saul's opportunity. There's no promises, okay? Don't ever get caught in the promise business because the promise business is a terrible business to be in. I think that there is from my humble opinion, you're in a unique position to be able to get a lot out of what Sol has to offer. And as you describe it, right, it's so nominal now that I think you should pay the full rate. I think you should go for the full on package and not take any discounts. Yeah, I think if you don't, I think it's very important. If you don't know what you're doing trading, stop trading. Learn what to do and then trade again in small pieces until you get good enough to be able to handle larger ones. And that's really, that's really important. And that's for everybody out there. There's no reason to be doing this with any money up until you're good at it. You're not going to get better by losing money. I think that that's a fallacy. I think if you know what you're doing and you have a discipline and you are tweaking that discipline, then you can use real money because then you have the element of risk and the concept of fear and greed. But the concept of whipping it around to think you're going to learn from that or just throwing stuff in or you learning half-baked stuff, the discipline and approach of having pre-mapped out levels that if you stick around here, you'll start to appreciate that you can count on, but only you can do that. You're the one that has to identify that for yourself. There's nobody telling you that to count on the levels. You get the levels and you can see what happens at those levels and you can determine on your own whether those levels are decent levels to pay attention to and be part of. The idea of what to do with the levels is taught. The entries, exits, and stops and the whys is taught and reinforced till you get it so you can do it on your own. And that's what Sol's here for, if you choose to take it. Anyway, I'll be in the background. Those that need to take care of their business, take care of their business. Wow, but that is such a loaded question. You're killing me. Let's take the first part of the question. So do you mean that your course will let you, learn how to make money daily? Yes. Without lose? No. Minimizing your losses? Quite possibly. Understanding why you get into a trade and to get right out so you don't suffer your losses? Quite possibly. Each individual comes to this with their own baggage, if you will, and positive things. I think I got a lot of positives. But the concept of having somebody teach you and not have a loss or losses, Sol has losses. Either you're pulling my leg, right, which is a phrase that you're just kidding or kidding with me, or maybe you're being unreasonable, right? John, how are you? I'll send it to you right now, John. I'm going to send it out to you privately, okay? Just right back to your name, and I appreciate it. I'm going to send it to you. Now, is it okay I sent it to you in chat? So where you type to send it to you, I just reversed it back to you. Let me know if you got that in the chat, because I see you put the... Put the other thing in there. And what is your? That's an interesting email. Yeah, that's great. And what is your email? I'm trying to make out what the business is, or what the moniker is. No, no, I meant like, what does it mean? Does it have a particular meaning? Oh, nice, cool. God knows the world needs more of that. There's a. I mentioned earlier that there was an incessant barking. If that's right, incessant, I don't know. There was a dog that just barks constantly. It's almost like they're hunting somebody. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. They're tracking people or tracking something because it's almost like a bloodhound, but at the same time barking as they run. But there's a park behind us that gets a lot of action. It's not like an official park or anything for that, but get some action in the morning and in the evening, and the barking is just. And we have screamed a few times out the window, as a lark to try to find out like what's going on. I may go down there, but I could be eaten. Yeah, I agree with you. Leadership is important, right? But I also, I can't imagine like you would have to wear earplugs or some sort of a I don't even think you could play music and listen to it. You'd have to have one of those headsets that cut the noise out so you can hear your music, because there is no way that you could last. This is, this happens every day of every day. It's not like it happens once a week. This is an everyday occurrence. I don't remember when it started, but we've noticed it a lot because of the summer. But I just laugh. I think leadership is part of part of everything. One of the things that I came up with was when you look in the mirror, you're really the boss of the person you're looking at because you're the owner of your business and you have your money at risk. Do you have the confidence and the trust that that individual will get, the person you're looking at it, get the kind of education and experience to handle your money? And a lot of times the answer is no. And send that person for training and then critique them when they get back. I think that that's part of it too. It's interesting to me because this is your business as an individual person, or my business as an individual person, or Saul's business as an individual person, and you're responsible for the cash or the the risk capital that you have. That's why Saul always says each person is an individual. Each person comes to this party with their own set of where they are and what they can afford, what risks they can take, the risk profile, the trade profile. There's a lot of nuance when it comes to being able to trade. You can start out with a big pile of money and make it a small pile of money, or you can start out with a smaller pile of money and make it a big pile of money. Just depends on where you're at. And then we hope that you don't run out of your money before you're able to get the help you need. That comes up a lot where people come, I'll talk to them. They're perfect for what Saul has to offer. They've got everything that they need. And then for some reason, they may talk to somebody or, whatever. And they're like, I can't do it. And then they come back and they have no money left. And they're like desperate. And I don't even know what to do. So don't let that happen to you. And Mahmoud, don't make a big pile of money into a small pile of money, okay? That would be bad. Like, how do you become a millionaire? Start out with $1 billion. Hey, KJ, let me know how you're making out. John, thank you. Fen, let me know how you're making out. DF, let me know how you're making out. JB, let me know if you're back. Hey, Anupam. Alex. Hey, Avi, did you just pop back in? Just let me know. Slick, Rand, let me know if I answered your questions. Rand, let me know if you're a new trader. Mahmoud, come on now. Let me know when you're done so I can let you know if it's arrived. I don't know what time it is where you are. You in the zone? The different cost levels. Right. Mahmoud, I know that, yeah. What is that Eastern time? I think you gave me military time, right? Or world time? So Rand, let me so there's a breakdown based on the costs. So to be a monthly member, it's $379 a month. It just happens to be on sale now. If you get the sales price, it's $100, so it saves you $279. That's just to be a monthly member here. You get the levels, you get the morning session with Saul, and that's really the spot to start out in, based on what we do here every day. Then as a friends and family member, right? We call it friends and family, subscriber, $379. Now it's on for $100, saves you $279. Then you have the opportunity for a trading consultation, and then the opportunity to get the numbers, pricing, private consultation. Actually, you can do it two ways. You can have a trading consultation and then set up another time to hear about Sal's mentoring and his coursework when you're ready. That's significantly discounted for friends and family, but we go through the numbers and stuff when we talk privately. I want to make sure that we're understanding whether there's a fit based on what you're doing too. It's not a one-sided, I'll just buy it. It's really a, can Sal help you? And whether you're a fit for his mentoring service or not. And there are certainly individuals that he's turned away because some people are what they are and not a fit for what he's doing. But you can sort of tell by Sal's personality, if you stick around for a few days, that he's got a pretty good one when it comes to being able to work with traders and get them set up and get them set up in the right direction. Hone them and work with them to give them the best shot they can get from a profitability point of view. And I think it's important for people to admit that it's not easy. It's not easy at all to trade and trade profitably. That is the worst thing that happens to individuals, is that the idea of a trading platform, which I call standardized software, really presents a case that is pretty easy. And individuals will go off and learn the easy part, which is all the concepts and charting and order entry and all the things that are elementary, and then never really figure out how to put a dime on the table from a trade. Or they'll break even all the time. In other words, they'll step their toe in based on what they're doing and step their toe out, and net, they don't make any money. At the end of the week, they got nothing except for expenses. End of the month, it's worse. And how are you going to turn that around? In this case, you have the opportunity quite possibly to work with Sol. First, getting better levels than you get from your standardized software. You can imagine if you just close your eyes and visualize how many people are looking to do what we do when it comes to trading. Sitting in front of a trading computer with a lot of screens, no screens, one screen, internet access, a trading platform, some money up, and they're trying to eke a living out of this business. Trading all sorts of crazy stuff, currencies, gold, oil. And I would venture to guess, and this is a guess, but it's based on some experience, is that 98% of those people are trading losers. It's really harsh. They all know what they're doing. They talk a good game. They're skilled at their platform. They're skilled at their chosen instrument, but they can't make a dime. What makes the 2% different? I mean, think about it. If standardized software and standardized stuff and the action of the individuals behind it, think about currencies. Currencies is the most manipulated, in my opinion. Behind it are the biggest thieves, because they're the people that run the trading platforms and have the trading desks that run people's stops and do all sorts of stuff behind the scenes. That's why they had to all move out of the United States. I don't think there is one left in the United States, because they were being sought after for their business practices. And then you've got people trying to do X, Y, and Z. Trying to do X, Y, and Z based on their own instrument of choice, and they spend a lot of time and effort on it. And they end up, I should say the lucky ones are able to change. I think the lucky ones are able to find somebody to actually teach them how to do this, that knows what they're doing. And I think you have to figure that out for yourself when it comes to this opportunity, by spending the requisite time listening to Sol, writing down his levels, paying attention to what happens at those levels, going to school on yourself when it comes to your craft and your tools. Asking for help is very important. And if you like what we're doing here, stick around and join pay the $379 and be happy. If you can get the other one, great. And focus on the S&P 500 E-mini. Focus on Sol's levels and see for yourself. Focus and listen to Sol as he comments from an educational point of view. And you can start to really pick up on what he's doing as a friends and family member. And then ultimately decide to either stick with friends and family, which is great, or put yourself in as a candidate for his course and his mentoring work. And then we'll see where we go from there. But there is no free lunch. There is no cookie cutter way to do this. In my opinion, there's no software out there because everything is lagging. when it comes to the information. It's what happened in the nanosecond past versus what's happening in the future. And there's a lot of interaction based on when to trade, when not to trade, economic releases, all this stuff that is part of the puzzle. And if you think Sol is somebody that can help you based on the puzzle, then stick around, join. Don't linger. If it's not for you, as they say, you don't have to go home, but you don't have to stay here. Pony up the nominal amount to show that you care, and take action. Trading is about action. Trading is about your ability to make a decision. Make a decision for yourself, and we'll see you on the other side. Mahmoud, I'm waiting for you to take care of your business. Rand, did that help you based on my conversation? I hope it did. You're certainly welcome to ask as many questions as you want. JB, let me know if you're okay. Hey, Adam, Don, Edward, Fen. Let me know what you're doing, Fen. Joel, thank you. John, thank you. KG, Kurt. Boy, I'm trying to say this name and I always mess it up. Fwak. Every day is different, but anyway, you know what I'm saying. Hey, Rand, Slick, let me know. And Timothy V. Everybody else, thanks for being here. Right now it is 11:44 a.m. Zoom Trade Along. ZOOM Trade Along.com.